New York. Schultz is down there. He has 7 minutes, and that means he has 11 more seconds to serve. And since he's on a major, he will not be able to come back to action until the first stoppage of play after 11 seconds. For the third period, 3-2 Islanders. Let's go Flyers, and let's go Don Earl.
Thank you, Gene, and we say it again as we did the other night when the same situation existed. The next goal is going to be a most crucial one, depending on who scores it. Jimmy Watson off the faceoff, up the left side, winds it behind the New York net. Jerry Hart goes for it along with Bobby Clark and Bert Marshall. Now it's Billy McMillan starting out the right wing, crosses on the left side to Howitt. Howitt from center ice over the Flyers net, hits the glass behind Perrant. McMillan the rebound in the right wing corner. Now Howitt behind the Flyers net. Broken up by Jimmy Watson. McMillan coming out, puts it to the backboard. And now it's McLeish tapping it by Marshall. He's taken down. We've got a penalty on Bert Marshall. Leach drops it back for Clark, but picking it up is Saint Laurent. So they'll get the penalty, tripping on Marshall, and the faceoff will be top of the far circle in the New York zone.
All right, Bert Marshall for tripping at 38 seconds. Flyers with a power play opportunity against the Islanders. They are now 2 for 16. And they're a better club than that, and with better time now to break out of that particular slump. Penalty number 8 against the Islanders of 18 called by Dave Newell.
And for the Flyers, only their third power play opportunity tonight. It's going to be Clark against Westfall. Westfall and Henning, the penalty killers, on for the Islanders. Face-off control by the Flyers, but immediately Westfall taps it to center ice, so the Flyers have to clear the zone. Barber feeds up to Clark. He's checked tightly by Hart, across to McLeish. McLeish crosses, but Leach was already in the zone, forcing the offside against the Flyers. 1:50 left on Marshall's penalty. The Flyers will try to get inside the New York zone, set up, and play for the good shot.
You know, there may be a fine line in these two words, but the Flyers look more anxious, over-anxious than aggressive on their power play. And again, maybe a semantic difference, but none, nevertheless, one we think we see out there. They're rushing a bit too much.
Off the face-off, it comes to Jerry Hart in his own zone, crosses to Dennis Potvin on the right. Tried to hit Westfall at center ice, hopped off his stick. Now it's Bladen up on the right wing at center to Leach. Ahead to Clark across the New York line. Pulls up short, and Henning clears outside the zone. Tom Bladen gloved it back in the zone, forcing the offside again against the Flyers. 1:34 left on the penalty to Bert Marshall.
There they tried to force it in along the right wing, 2 against 1, and there was no area to move.
Face-off controlled by the Flyers now. At center ice, it's Bladen on the right wing. Bladen across the line, puts it in the right wing corner, but Potvin will be there first. He tries to set it up the near boards, but Westfall bumped off the puck by Clark, and Bladen couldn't keep it in the zone. It coasts all the way back behind the Flyer net. Perrant leaves it for Bill Barber. Flyers have 1:12 left on their advantage. They trail 3-2. McLeish up the left wing at center. McLeish. Flyers went in on Resch. A routine save by Resch. Dornhofer tries to throw it out front, but it's blocked off by Jerry Hart. They battle for it behind the net, and play is called as Dornhofer was locked up with Hart. And we got a quick whistle, and thought for a minute there that there were penalties being assessed to both by Dave Newell, but he lost sight of the puck, and play was halted.
Jerry Hart was leaning and trying to fall, or was sliding on the puck, and Hart tried to, or Dornhofer tried to kick him out of the way, lift him out of the way, kick past him any way to break that puck free, and couldn't. 59 seconds remaining on the Bert Marshall penalty. And for that great defenseman for this club, he has now 12 penalty minutes on the playoff year.
Face off to the right of Resch has Westfall set to draw with Kindrachuk. He's flanked by Lonsbury and Dornhofer as the Flyers have 59 seconds left on the advantage. Left point, Jimmy Watson, stopped by Resch as he was screened. On the right wing, DuPont puts it behind the net for Dornhofer. Dorney's got it, gets loose. Dorney now tries the near side in the right wing corner, right out in front, but Lonsbury can't get his stick down, and it's cleared the length of the ice by the Islanders. Perrant lays it in front of the crease for Jimmy Watson. He scoots behind the net. Forechecking for the Islanders, Ed Westfall. Jimmy Watson shovels the backhander ahead to Dornhofer in the right wing, through center ice. Dorney's across the line, centering pass, Kindrachuk in. Oh, great backhander, great move by Kindrachuk, but a super save by Resch. And now it's Westfall with Henning. Westfall drives from outside, stopped by the stick hand of Perrant. DuPont up the left wing to Lonsbury. He holds inside the Flyer zone, now springs Jimmy Watson loose. On the right wing, Dornhofer across the line. The drive, it's wide. 3 seconds and Marshall will be out. Lonsbury left wing. His shot is wide. Comes to the near side as Marshall is out. And here come the Islanders. Ahead for Westfall. Broken up at the line by DuPont. Now it's Fortier at center from the red line. Now skating toward the blue line on the left. Just dumps it around the Flyer boards. Perrant behind the net for Jim Watson. Watson starts out, but we've got an offside called against the Islanders. 17:09 left in third period play. It's 3-2 Islanders.
Stickin couldn't get it up. Flyers good effort on the power play.
Face-off control on the Flyers end by Ted Harris. He races to center ice, springs Schultz loose, but he can't reach the puck, and he goes all the way to the backboard. Schultz skated off the puck by Billy Harris. Clement, and Selesky bump hard across the way. Schultz taps it to the backboard. Marshall to the near corner for Clark Gillies. Gillies holds, knocked down and intercepted. Bill Clement across to Schultz, can't get a stick on it. Here comes Bill Harris with Ralph Stewart. Harris across the line on the right wing, trying to turn around the outside. His centering pass goes off the outside of the Flyer net. Now it's Marshall in the right wing corner, intercepted, and the Flyers break out. Clement with Schultz. Clement on the right, across the line. Across for Schultz. The shot stopped by Glenn Resch. Rebound is smothered by the glove hand as Clement raced in for the loose puck, and it was tied up.
Dave's got a bear lock on Jerry Hart's head. Nothing really there. Hart not offering any resistance, and Dave not grinding it in anymore. And then, like the wrestler, he breaks off with both hands in the air, say, "Look, clean, clean."
16:22 left in regulation time. It's going to be Clark, McLeish, and Leach as the face-off comes to the right of Glenn Resch. The Islanders go with Saint Laurent, Howitt, and McMillan up front. Clark against Saint Laurent, and the Islanders have been winning more than their share of face-offs. This time Clark wins it. Jimmy Watson to the right wing corner, but off the boards, Potvin controls, broken up by Clark. Clark back to McLeish. And getting a stick in front was Fortier as McLeish was trying to move in. Fortier intercepts again off the right wing boards. Here comes McMillan up the right side to center ice. Howitt broken up. Leach puts it right on the stick of McMillan. He's across the line. Right wing pass, Saint Laurent. Backhander in front, smothered by Perrant, and he holds on. The face-off will be in the Flyers zone, and it's going to be in the circle to Perrant's right.
First time in the playoffs that the Flyers have been behind going into third period action. Hey, that just published limited edition scrapbook containing all of the Flyers newspaper headline highlights of the Stanley Cup, entitled Stanley Cup Year in Headlines, is available to you at $6 or add 50 cents for mailing to the Flyers novelty department.
You know, one good thing about that book, all the clipping work is done for you. Off the face-off, it's DuPont behind his own net. Up on the left wing to McLeish. McLeish shovels it ahead for Joe Watson. He's cut off by Saint Laurent. Gets it back again. Taken down from behind by McMillan, and the Islanders start out. It's Gary Howitt. Howitt broken up by McLeish, but it's on the stick of Fortier. Now intercepted by Leach. Leach's drive hits the backboard behind Resch. And the Islanders get it right back again. Dennis Potvin on the left, off the stick of Saint Laurent. Back to the Flyers end. Watson can't reach it. Picks it up right in front of Perrant. Scoots behind the Flyer net. Howitt forechecking for the Islanders. Passes ahead now to DuPont, to McLeish. McLeish flips to the fence. Can't get a shot. He scores! Rick McLeish. And this one's all tied up.
You know, there was the discipline, Don, I think, of the veteran, experienced forward against the goaltender. He held. Rush made his move, came out, and then McLeish held, and at a sharp angle from the left, beat him along the ice to tie this game at 4:38. Busted through the defense, was held up by Fortier, and was about 5 feet from the goal line when Resch dove out, tried to get that stick to cover it, and didn't. Watson the assist at 4:48, and the Flyers have come back from 3 down.
DuPont also got an assist on that, so if you're keeping score, it's DuPont and Watson for McLeish, the goal scorer. Puck goes into the seats across the way, forcing a stoppage. Face-off will be neutralized on the Flyers' left wing.
McLeish's second of the night, is 7th of the playoffs, and Don, very much like Game 4 of last year's Atlanta final. You remember the Flames were up 3-0. The Flyers tied it in the third.
And wrapped it up in sudden death overtime, and that, of course, came off the stick of Dave Schultz. Kindrachuk locked up with Druin at center ice. Now it's Marshall controlling, as the Flyers are starting to carry the game to the Islanders. We surmise that the third period could be a very interesting one either way. Harris almost draping himself around Druin. Kindrachuk wrapped up by Marshall. Here comes Westfall to Parisi. Back to Westfall, but it slides right under his stick, and Barber clears it to center ice off the near side boards. Lewis drops it back to Marshall in the New York zone. Back to Lewis on the left. Lewis starts out, lead pass to Druin. Druin has Westfall on the right. Pass off the Flyers boards on the far side. Barber cuts inside. Westfall gets control. Intercepted by Parisi. Out to Westfall. He's bumped off, and here comes Kindrachuk to Dornhofer. Dornhofer going on the left wing across the line. Pulls up short. Checked off the play. Barber's shot kicked out by Resch. Knocked down by the glove hand of Druin, and here comes New York. Druin with Parisi on the left. Westfall on the right. Westfall's offside, and he doesn't like the call by Claude Béchard. With 13:57 left in third period play, it's all tied 3-3.
Goal here in the third within a playing time space of 7 minutes and 24 seconds.
Face-off on the Flyers' left wing at center ice now goes inside the zone where it's Lonsbury controlling, and he comes to center ice. Lonsbury from outside hits the backboard behind the Islander net. Rebound handled by Potvin up on the left wing to Gillies breaking out. Gillies with Bourne and Harris. 3-on-3. Gillies across the line going wide on Van Epp. The shot stopped by Perron on the short side. Lonsbury on the far wing. Overskates it. Misses the check thrown by Gillies. Clement at center. Checked by Potvin. Drops it off for Jim Watson. Watson across the New York line. Top of the slot. Comes to the right side. Jimmy Watson. Backhander in front. Great glove save. Resch as cutting right across in front was Bill Clement. Selesky in the left wing corner. Now Jimmy Watson goes in for it. Watson back to Selesky to Clement. Back to Selesky. And he couldn't reach the pass, and here comes New York. Harris drops it off. No one there. Finally picked up by Bob Bourne. Sends it around behind Perron at the Flyer end of the ice, and Lonsbury starts out as New York is in the midst of a line change. Lonsbury through center with Clement. Clement drops off. Lonsbury trying to split the defense is taken down by Bert Marshall and Dave Fortier. McMillan off the far wing to center ice, controlled by Joe Watson. Watson off the stick of Fortier. They should stop play, and they do, and the face-off will be in the New York zone to the left of Glenn Resch. Flyers were held scoreless in the first period, but came back with 2 to match the 2 scored by the Flyers in the second period. The draw to Leach, now off to DuPont at the right point, winds it behind the net to the left wing corner. McLeish goes for it, but it takes a crazy bounce off the corner boards. And now on the near side, Leach intercepts. Leach in turn loses as Howard breaks out off the stick of McLeish and deflects all the way back behind the Flyer net to our left. McLeish, now Joe Watson off the right wing boards for Leach. He's boxed in by Howard. Howard goes down, and Leach has it behind his own net. Up the left wing for McLeish. Just deflects it to center ice. And now it's the Islanders getting control again as Marshall circles at the red line. Jams it to the left wing corner. Karam handled by Perron. Watson to Leach. Back behind the net for Joe Watson. Watson looks for the open man. It's McLeish on the left wing. Wing to wing for Leach. Pass was behind him, and back comes Howard. Howard pinched off the puck by Bobby Clark. And we've got penalties coming up, probably to both Howard and Clark, at least it should be. But only Clark is going to get a penalty. It's going to be for slashing. 11:47 left in third period play. The score tied 3-3.
Flyers 11th as he picked up Howard breaking into the Flyer zone along the left wing, checked him hard into the boards. Howard came up with the elbow a little bit, and then Bobby retaliated with a slash against Howard and picked up the penalty. And of the 11 Flyer penalties, 4 of them have involved Gary Howard.
This is the 7th New York power play. A drive by Potvin rattles off the backboard behind Perron. Left point Fortier. His shot goes wide as he was looking for Westfall on the tip-in. Islanders control. Parisi behind the net, out front. And Druin tripped up by Van Epp. Now it's Lonsbury to center ice. Just killing off time, now decides to break, but he's broken up on a good poke check by Dave Fortier. Back for the Islanders comes J.P. Parisi. Peels it off to Dennis Potvin on the right. Trying to penetrate at the Flyer line. Off the left wing boards. Perron leaves it for Jim Watson. Watson looks for an opening. Barber picks it up. Shovels it ahead for Lonsbury. Breaking is Jim Watson. Across the line, Lonsbury. The shot blocked off by Fortier. Druin controls behind his own net. And back come the Islanders. 1:10 left on the penalty to Bobby Clark. Lead pass on the left wing intended for Parisi. Goes around behind the Flyer net, and it's Van Epp off to Clement. And Clement clears up the left wing boards the length of the ice. Glenn Resch to that far corner, leaves it for Dave Fortier. Fortier off on the left wing for Parisi, breaking out. Barber trying to break him up. DuPont slows him down at the line. Loose puck control by Barber, and Barber flips it back to center ice. Fortier passes behind Potvin as Potvin was breaking. Clement trying to break up his former Ottawa resident. Here comes Drouin, gets by DuPont. Drouin, centering pass intercepted. DuPont pushed off the puck, but Clement's there to clear it the length of the ice. Both Dennis Potvin and Bill Clement are graduates of junior ranks of the Ottawa 67s. Now it's Dennis Potvin. Good lead pass to Harris. Up the right wing, across the line, around behind Watson. Centering pass intercepted by DuPont. 10 seconds left on the penalty to Clark as the puck is cleared by Dornhofer back to the New York zone. Lewis circles in front of his own net. Up the left wing at center to Gillies. Across on the right to Marshall. Now it's Ralph Stewart taking the pass across the line on the right wing. Holds up. Both teams back at full strength. And the puck comes to center ice as Marshall couldn't keep it in the zone. Now here comes Kindrachuk down the right lane. Straightened up by Dave Lewis, trying to battle for the puck and gets a face-off in the New York zone to the left of Glenn Resch.
Something Freddie Shearer would point out. You wonder about a team that's tied 3-3 and 3 against 1, and they tie the puck up in their own end. Freddie Shearer would call that an awfully defensive play for a club that needs a goal. It's 3-3 with 9:31 left in the third period, and it was 3 Islanders to Kindrachuk, and the Islanders chose to freeze the puck.
Face-off control by New York. Dave Lewis behind his own net. Starts out the left side, leads Stewart. Stewart drops it back to Lewis. Intercepted by Kindrachuk, but taken away from him by Lewis. Lewis flips it inside the Flyers zone, but flipped right out again by Tom Bladen. Back to the New York zone. Burt Marshall. Inside of his own zone, off to Dave Lewis on the left. He's at center. Breaking on the right wing is Billy Harris. He fires to the Flyer backboards, picked up by Dave Schultz. Schultz, low bridge by Clark Gillies with the stick right across the bridge of the nose. Now it's Dornhofer coming in. He's tripped up. We have a New York penalty coming up, and it's going to be for hooking. 8:53 to go in third period play. It's tied 3-3.
Inside him, and Hart was beaten and got his hook under Dornhofer's skates and dragged him down. Hart now with 40 penalty minutes on the year, and the Flyers, who are hungry for a power play goal, they are now just 2 for 17 against the Islanders, get a pop at a crucial part of this game with the score tied at 3. And the Islanders now forced to skate the one-man short. Clark out there with McLeish, Leach, Bladen, and Barber.
They've gone 9 power play opportunities in a row now. This is the 10th without scoring a power play goal. Now would be a great time for them to come up with one and break that string. Clark between McLeish and Leach. Face off to the left of Resch. They battle for it. It comes back to Bladen. Can't reach it as it really splits between the 2-point men and goes all the way back to Perrant. He's halfway up the slot, sweeps it to the backboards for Bladen. Forechecking for New York is Lauren Henning and Ed Westfall. Now it's McLeish sailing through center ice. Passes to Leach on the right wing. Goes to the corner. Centering pass blocked off by Marshall. Now it's McLeish in the left wing corner. McLeish holds there, looking for the open man. Comes out of the corner, holds, now goes back into it again, looking for the open man. Back to Bladen. Bladen can't get the shot away, has to retreat. He's boxed in, now hits Barber in the slot. Shot, tipping attempt as Leach is cross-checked from behind. Bladen penetrates, can't keep the puck in the zone as Henning hits Westfall at center ice. 1-on-1 against Clark. The shot right along the ice is wide. Rebounds up the right wing, kept in the zone by Henning, but picking it up is Reg Leach. He's at center. Leach drops it off for Clark. They crisscross. Now dumping it right in the zone and no one breaking for it, and it's cleared the length of the ice by Dennis Potvin. Less than a minute left on Jerry Hart's penalty. Flyers need a goal right now. DuPont up to center ice from his own zone on the left. Fires around the Islander boards. Resch stops it behind his own net, trying to clear and does. Off the stick of Lauren Henning and Bobby Clark, the length of the ice. 40 seconds and the Islanders will be back full. Jimmy Watson puts on a burst of speed, hits Lonsbury at center. Lonsbury on the right wing. Dornhofer closing. Dornhofer shot. Glove save short side, and Resch holds on. The face-off with 29 seconds left on Jerry Hart's penalty will be again to the left of Glenn Resch.
That shot not on net, high and wide of the short side, but Resch wisely grabbing. You don't want that to get by. It bangs off the glass behind you and comes out front the other side. And that's where you get goals scored on you sometimes. But you always want to control the puck if you're the defense in your own end, even if you have to force the face-off. That loose puck around there can cause nothing but trouble. 7:22 remaining regulation play. 3-3 the score. 29 seconds on the penalty to Jerry Hart.
Westfall has seen yeoman-like duty tonight, playing a regular shift, playing power plays and killing penalties. He's on the face-off with Kindrachuk and controls it. Lewis is upended by Dornhofer, and now it's Lonsbury to the far side of the Islander net, to the right wing corner, Kindrachuk. Kindrachuk comes up the right wing boards, controls, tries to dump it in the corner, but it's cleared to center ice by Dave Lewis. 10 seconds and Hart will be out. Jimmy Watson from the left to DuPont on the right. He's at center ice. Across the New York line, here comes the Moose. Can't get a shot away as he's bumped off the puck by McMillan. Henning clears at the length of the ice, and Hart is out. So the Islanders are at full strength. Again, it's Jimmy Watson out of his own zone, ahead on the right wing. Watson, low bridge by McMillan. Now it's Dornhofer. The drive, knocked down by Resch. Almost misplayed it, but it's cleared around the boards along the near side to center ice, where it's Ed Van Imp. Van Imp controls for the Flyers. Goes for Lonsbury, but the Flyers were in the midst of a line change, and it's the Islanders breaking out. Lewis at center. Off the near side boards, behind the net. Perron stops it for Joe Watson. Tries to lead Kelly, kept in by Dennis Potvin. Shot blocked by Clement, comes to center ice. Kelly battles him for it, forces Potvin deeper at center. And now it's off the stick of Van Imp, in on Perron. He gives him directions and steers it behind the net. Now it's Joe Watson up to Bill Clement on the left wing for Bob Kelly. The Hound across the line. He has Selesky breaking for the net, but it's blocked out by Potvin. Selesky in the right wing corner. Fires from the corner, but stopped by the stick of Glenn Resch. Now it's Howard, left wing at center. Across the Flyers line on the right wing. Bumped by Joe Watson, enough to shake the puck loose, and Bill Clement rattles it off the backboard along the near side for Van Imp. Up to Kelly, can't handle a pass. Saint Laurent tried to feed to Howard, intercepted by Selesky. Selesky drives, deflected to the far boards by Fortier. Dennis Potvin, lead pass to Saint Laurent. Left wing at center ice to Howard. Howard across the Flyers line. Saint Laurent back to Howard. In front was puck, but it's intercepted by McLeish. McLeish ahead for Bill Clement. Just over 5 minutes left in regulation time. Clement's drive is steered to the far corner by Resch as the Flyers are in the midst of a line change. Clark and Leach and McLeish back out for the Flyers. Saint Laurent challenged at center ice by McLeish, but gets his backhander around the Flyer boards. DuPont behind the net. Up to Clark on the left wing. He can't handle it. Potvin in the right wing corner for Harris. Centering pass. Bourne can't get a shot away as the puck goes behind the Flyer net. Clark cuts right in front of Perron. He's got running room to center ice with Leach. Taking the pass. Leach fires wide to the short side. Off the glove hand of Resch. Harris ties it up along the far boards. Now gets it loose. Marshall returns it to the near side, and it's Fortier. Up to Gillies, hops over his stick to center ice, where it's Tom Bladen. Bladen tries to hit Leach breaking across the line, but Fortier intercepts. Gillies to Bourne, doesn't connect. Loose puck now picked up by Marshall. That puck is almost like a hot potato, as no one seems to be able to control it. Bladen escapes a Bourne check in the Flyers' left wing corner. Up the right lane comes Clark. Clark flips one in on Resch. He gloves it on the fly, drops it off for Jerry Hart. Flyers playing short shifts now as they have Kindrachuk out there. Here comes Bourne. Bourne across the Flyers line. Stick handling. Still has it. Gets a weak shot away, intercepted by Jim Watson. Almost banned on it. Watson straight up the middle at center. Across the New York line. Barber rolls one in wide. Control now by Parisi. Parisi behind his net to the far corner for Marshall. Off his stick to Bourne. Bourne taps it to center ice, but Van Imp gets it to Dornhofer. To Barber. Barber can't close. He's inside the New York zone, but tied up by Marshall. Now it's Westfall withdrawing to Parisi. Westfall across the line. Taken off the puck by Van Imp. And back for the Flyers comes Dornhofer. Dornhofer can't get it to center ice, and Parisi wraps it back into the left wing corner. Behind the net, Van Imp up to Bill Barber. He's squelched against the boards by Druin. Westfall tried to center it to Parisi in front of Perron. Now it's Druin in the right wing corner. Centering pass, no one there. Van Imp picks it up. Van Imp lifts it up to Bill Barber, and he's at center. Dornhofer in the right wing. Dornhofer takes the pass. Gets his shot away. Kick save. But right on the stick of Bill Clement, who tried to follow it up on the rebound. Here comes Bladen, the backhander. Loose puck in front. And it comes to the near boards. Dornhofer keeps it in the zone. Goes into the corner for it. Battles, and battles some more. Clement goes into the corner. Puck now comes loose and is controlled by New York. Dennis Potvin starts out. Dorney broke his stick, goes over to get a new one. Here's Druin to Parisi on the left wing. Taken off the puck by Bladen. DuPont picks it up. Up the right wing to Clement. He shovels it ahead for Don Selesky. Selesky across the New York line. Tries to cut inside, but takes a body check thrown by Fortier. Potvin back for New York to Druin to Parisi. Westfall gets back onside. Play continues. Puck goes behind the Flyer net. Controlled by Bill Clement. Up to Lonsbury on the left wing. He's broken up, but Clement gets it to center ice. 2:12 left in regulation time. This game is tied 3-3. Game 4 of the best 4 out of 7. The Flyers lead in game 3-0. Lauren Henning on the left wing gets by Joe Watson. He's taken down. And now it's Howard coming off the left wing corner. Goes behind the net to the right wing corner. Howard pulls up short, but he's taken to the boards by Bobby Clark, and it's tied up in the Flyers' right wing corner. 1:52 left in regulation time. This game is tied at 3.
Nodder at 4:48 of this period, the only score. And they played the last 6 minutes like nobody wanted to go overtime. Up and down, caution to the wind.
Oh, I think you're probably right, Gene. Face off to the left of Perron in the Flyers' end. And here comes Leach. He's taken down by Dave Fortier, and he's going to be going off, and it's going to be for holding. Flyers get a power play opportunity. 1:46 to go in regulation time. The score tied at 3.
Can go the remainder of this period with the edge, as Fortier really hooked that left arm around Leach and pulled him down. For Fortier on the series, it gives him 33 penalty minutes on the playoff year total. And the Flyers now, who are going, as Don said, 9 or 10 in a row without scoring, have an opportunity. Of course, you don't want to get careless here, but they've got the rest of this period, and believe it or not, 14 seconds into overtime, if they don't score, to pick something up on the board. Time of the penalty is 18:14.
And there again are the penalty killers out there for the Islanders, who've done such a fine job all year long. Ed Westfall and Lauren Henning. Flyers go with their big guns. Clark between McLeish and Leach. Face-off controlled by New York. Dennis Potvin up to center ice at Henning. Henning on the right wing, pops one in on Perron. Off his glove to the backboard. That could have been dangerous. Bladen around, but it's intercepted by Potvin. You'd think New York had the power play right here. Now Bladen gets it back again. Leaves it for Clark behind the Flyer net. Clark starts out. Feeds ahead for Bill Barber. He's at center ice. Cuts to the left wing. Across the New York line. Puts it around in the corner for McLeish. McLeish behind the New York net. Out front. A shot by Bladen. He really shanked that one as he had a wide open net.
Don Bladen had it right there, but he got it off the heel of the stick and just got a chippy shot that Resch was able to cover. But otherwise, beautiful setup by McLeish, and that could have been the game winner. McLeish going behind the net, and he looked for Leach in the near corner, but Bladen broke right in, got the pass right there, and tried to hit the long side and shanked it.
On the face-off to the left of Resch in the New York zone. Flyers on a power play. Leach in the right wing corner. Goes behind the net, checked tightly by Bert Marshall. Less than a minute left in regulation time. Now Clark has it behind the New York net. Flyers need but one. Clark holds, making sure that the man is free. It's to Reg Leach. The drive, kick save, short side save by Resch off of Clark. And now it's Leach on the left wing. Drive goes right through the goal mouth. And now Tom Bladen along the near side, trying to keep it in, and does. It's Rick McLeish along the right wing boards, on the right wing corner to Clark. Clark back to the right point. Bladen, the shot deflected around behind the net. Clark is there. He's cross-checked by Marshall. Puck comes loose. McLeish has it. McLeish with 22 seconds left in regulation time. Right point, Bladen. His shot blocked by Westfall. Bladen waited too long, and the puck comes to center ice. And it's finally loose as Leach hits McLeish on the left. McLeish closing. Back to Leach. Leach to Bladen on the right wing. Off the boards. His drive is blocked. 2 seconds. One out front. It's a light round. It's a goal. It's a goal. It's a goal. The Flyers have won it.
It's a goal because the red light went on and the green light did not. Bobby Clark and the Flyers have won it at 1950. Wait a minute. We're going to get a talk down here. Let's see.
The red light was on. The red light was on. How can the red light go on if the goal is disallowed?
All right, Don, I'm going to say this, that the clock when I saw it was down to zeros when the goal went in, and it's no goal. And I won't argue with that, as Leach got a second try and drove it in, but I'm sure the light went on, the green light did not go on, but Don, I would not fight that, because when I looked up, it looked like zeros before the puck went into the net. And so what looked like a 1959 win for the Flyers will go in overtime.
Well, of course, the question now is these goal lights and clocks are supposed to be synchronized. In other words, if there is time remaining, that red light will go on. If there is no time remaining, only the green light can go on. But the red light did go on. And that will be a question that will be kicked around and kicked around for a long time to come. So we've got sudden death overtime coming up. So at the end of time games ever in a National Hockey League playoff year, the 11th. Flyers will be guarding the goal to our right. The Islanders to our left. The Flyers have been rather successful in overtime competition, winning 7 and losing 3. The Flyers will go with their guns as they have a 14-second power play to start the sudden death overtime, as Dave Fortier has that much time remaining on his holding penalty. The Flyers will go with their big guns again. It'll be Clark between McLeish and Leach, Van Impe and Jimmy Watson defensively, and Henning and Westfall up front, penalty killers for the Islanders with Jerry Hart and Bert Marshall. Dave Newell set to drop the puck. Let's go Flyers, and let's go Gene Hart.
Thank you, Dono. We're on to our right, rush to our left. Dave Newell drops the puck. Flipped back by Lauren Henning deep into the Philadelphia end with 10 seconds left. That should pretty much kill off the Flyers' opportunity to set up on a power play. Jimmy Watson up on the left side to McLeish. Far wing pass to Leach with 1 second left on the penalty. Drop pass Clark. Swept it into the far corner by Henning. Clark behind the net. Held off by Hart. Bert Marshall pokes it up along the near wing. As the penalty is over, the Islanders shoot it down the ice by Westfall, and that's going to be it, as it's caught up to by Van Impe. The penalty is over. 29 seconds gone in overtime, and the Flyers will get a face-off deep in the New York end.
Well, Gene, I look at my official score sheet, and I see 1 line remaining. Need I tell you more?
Yeah. Well, I'm already on page 2 on my bang sheet here.
You didn't get the point. 1 line remaining. Just enough room for an overtime goal.
Ah, yes.
And let's hope it's in red.
All right, the penalties again. They've been 21, 11 to Philadelphia. All right, Clark will take the draw to Westfall. To the right front of Resch and Islanders zone to our left. Claude Bouchard wants the sticks down. They're dropped. Clark pokes it back to the near point. Joe Watson will go backhander. It trickles in on Rush off Clark, and he feeds it off to Jude Druin on the right side. Druin crosses off the near boards. Potvin has trouble with it. Make that Bert Marshall up on the left side to Jerry Hart. Gets over center. Tries to play through to Parisi. Blocked off. Stolen by Druin. Circles at the red line. Looks. And Parisi tries to get up on the far side, but was sitting on Clark and took himself out of the play at his own at the Flyer blue line. DuPont up the slot to Leach. He's tripped up by Hart, but deflects it deep into the Islander zone. That play starting at the Flyer blue line. Now Kindrachuk is out, along with McLeish and Dornhofer, as Clark and Leach were able to clear off. Druin, Parisi, and Westfall out there for the Islanders as Marshall carries the puck up on the right side. Over center, lifts it to the far side, deep, where DuPont picks it up behind the net. Winds it around to Kindrachuk, held in at the point and then lost by Bert Marshall as the puck eluded both Oris Kindrachuk and the defenseman. Now McLeish at center ice, comes through the Islander line, tries to sweep by Jerry Hart, holds at the far point, crosses, looking on the near side for Joe Watson. Drive well wide of the net, knocked down by Kindrachuk's glove in the corner. McLeish, he had Dornhofer out front, and Druin made a great protective save and send it away to Parisi at center ice. Right wing pass to Westfall, tipped by Joe Watson. Westfall has to wait for it. Now plays through to Parisi in front. Druin goes to shoot, scores! And the Islanders win it.
And Parisi was offside on that play, and they didn't call it. No sour grapes, but Parisi was 2 feet offside on the left wing, and they didn't call it.
Well, great play, and that's the guys that'll hurt you, Druin and Parisi. And there was no question about the goal, as Westfall first was stopped at the line, then played through to Parisi left side, to Druin right in front, drew out Perrant, went to the backhand and went high to the net to score. And for Jude Druin on the playoffs' 4th goal, and the Islanders win their first, and the Flyers' playoff string of 8 straight is stopped. Their consecutive string of 21 without a victory.